Pyrex, the Pyrex.
Pyrotechnics is there with Memento. Let's hear what they have to say.
Thanks for the new nickname, guys. I'm sitting by with Memento. First off, you were able to take a 1-1 against Fnatic, so congratulations on that second game victory. I want to ask you a little bit. I want to ask you a little bit about the difference between Game 1 and Game 2. Obviously, long pause, things can get a bit crazy, but why was Game 2 so much cleaner execution from you guys?
Well, they didn't have Kog'Maw. That helped a lot.
I suppose that's a good start.
We kind of expected a Kog'Maw, but we weren't really ready to play against it. So we were kind of caught off guard. And the Tahm Kench as well, which was kind of annoying. So it's really hard to kill the Kog'Maw. And the first game was just... I think we made a lot of misplays as well. The second game was... second game we felt like Ryze was a really good pick, and we wanted to try it out. We've tried it in scrims sometimes and had a lot of success, but we didn't really know if it was good or not. So we didn't really have anything to lose second game, so we just went for it, and it went pretty good.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. You guys are in a unique position, despite being down in the standings. You now can kind of experiment a little bit more, even on the big stage. So let me ask you a bit about going forward. You're locked for a promotion tournament, but how confident are you guys feeling, considering you can take a game off a team like Fnatic?
I'm not sure, actually. I think we're going to stay in LCS, most likely. We feel pretty confident, and we're just going to do our best and focus on improve.
There you go. I like to hear it. And specifically, it's not guaranteed yet, but you guys are very likely to face off against a team like Misfits. Do you have any thoughts on them and other teams in the Challenger series?
Well, Misfits is definitely the strongest team right now in Challenger, so I think they're really good, but I'm not sure how good they will be on stage against an LCS team. But I definitely think they will be the hardest challenge.
We certainly know a lot about coming up and going into LCS pretty quickly. Can you talk to me a little bit more about your experience since you've joined on ROCCAT? What you've learned in your time here?
Well, I've learned not to be nervous on stage anymore, and it's not that dangerous to play on stage, and it feels a lot more comfortable now. And I've learned a lot about the game as well, macro-wise and team fighting, and I've learned so much being here just for 3 weeks.
Wow, it's awesome to hear you grow that much over this time, and I hope you have the best of luck going into promotion tournament in your final week here in Europe in the LCS. For now, though, we got to send it back to the casters to break that one down and give us our player of the game.
Thank you very much, Pyra. Of course, mic is not in front of my face,
Yay,
which is going to make things
go.
a little bit harder. Figured that one out on the fly. All right, Memento, good to hear from this guy. He apparently has learned a lot since growing the team, and it's really showed because he's our player of the game.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Stellar performance coming in from this guy.
Yep. Everywhere he needed to be in the early game, set up all the early kills, honestly, for himself and ROCCAT, allowing them to play this style after.
Absolutely, and when they were ahead, continuously moving in from those aggressive dives. Now some of those were risky, but they always came out on top in the end, and that's the kind of proactive play that we really love to see. Now, looking back at this game, it started off relatively even, very, very early, and then immediately...
You mean like the first 1 minute?
Yeah, okay. So they were even for the first minute, but then we saw things go really wrong really quick.
Failed lane swap, and then Fnatic not respecting the fact that ROCCAT can be multiple members on bottom side without a tower for Fnatic as well. Great setup from ROCCAT and Memento here. Picks up the first few kills. And this now puts Fnatic so far behind, also because Whirlip showed up. Oh, hey, Whirlip. You're now on the wrong side, and you don't flash the
maybe
wall
flash? Here. No, you're good. Level 2 Gangplank.
Yeah. Good point is actually here, if Betsy wanted the absolute maximum DPS, he would actually queued first into E, but doesn't matter.
I feel like that's super nitpicky.
It's just because I said in the cast that if you EQ, WQ, that's your maximum DPS. Technically, you Q first, and then you reset the cooldown on Q. Anyway, yada, yada, yada. No one cares. ROCCAT, by the way, cared a lot about Baron, and they set up Baron really, really well, and I'm very happy to see that from a team.
Consistently, and you can see this one of the first Baron baits here.
And in Europe, teams tend to not do this, mess up the Baron, lose the Baron when they're really far ahead, and then suddenly the game, is much longer, very close. Great ulti from Betsy. Not really, but we don't care. It was a Ryze ulti. It's only the third time we saw it, actually.
True.
Couldn't really complain about it. It was perfectly fine. And ROCCAT just outplayed Fnatic in the last game.
I'd say totally and completely. Really interesting to see ROCCAT step up to that level, and also surprising to see Fnatic drop. Of course, we said they're going to take a lot of risks, and that's kind of questionable.
Yeah, and G2 dropped the game to Vitality and the other stream. So our top teams, at least right now, dropping some games, where we didn't expect it. We are very close to playoffs, but European teams tend to use these 2 to 3 weeks between end of regular season and playoff start to really boot camp and really get ready. And we tend to see much better teams when playoffs actually start. So I'm hoping Fnatic and G2 can really step it up. They do play each other tomorrow in our match of the week.
Yeah.
And I want to see a high-quality game.
Absolutely. Really got to question what they're going to bring to the table, see how they improve as we approach playoffs. But we're going to recall and replenish our mana for the next clash between Schalke and Giants as we go. Smitty J weighs in on the impending matchup. You don't need more mana. You need more mana.
Lame.
I think Gilius champion pool is not that good. He's good on Elise in Italy, but everything else is like kinda meh. So if we get something like Gragas or something, we already almost won the game. And their bot lane is their weakest side, I think. And if we can get an advantage there, yeah, can win the game.